Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a super quick video on how to use environment variables in a Python script. So this is going to be super generic and you can pretty much apply it to your Django project or your Flask project, or maybe you've just got sensitive information that needs to go into a public Python script. So all I've done for now is create an empty folder. As you can see, there's nothing inside here. So we're going to begin first by creating a virtual environment and then installing the required package into that virtual environment. So we can do Python 3 venv, and we'll call it the temp env. That kind of makes sense. And then we'll want to activate this. It's in bin, just do exactly what I'm doing. And if you don't know about virtual environments, then all it's doing is it's installing it into this virtual environment rather than on the whole system. Okay, so we're going to use a package called Django Environ. It's not just for Django, it's just a Python thing that's probably mostly used for Django. So we can do my thing was being funny. So pip install Django Environ. There you go, we've installed it. Now what I want to do is we're going to create our script. So that's going to be touch test.py. So that's where we're going to be writing our code. Then we need to create where we're going to put the environment variables. So we're going to make a directory called .envs, and the dot just basically hides it from our view. So we do ls, we can't see it, it's more private. You can do ls-a to actually see it, and there it is. And then we're going to navigate inside there, and we can do so that's where we'd basically have all of our different files, environment variables. So you could have a production file, or you could have a local file, or whatever you want to call them, or a database file. So we're just going to create a local. So touch .local. So again, we can see that exists, and we're going to go back to, actually, we are going to load a couple of things into here. So let's go back into .envs. Okay, keep forgetting about this, and let's open this up. So .local, you can ignore all of this. This is a project I'm working on. It's a YouTube idea generator, which I'll probably try to make live in a couple of weeks. Anyway, so we could have our environment variables, they just go in here, like so. So we could have debug as 1, meaning it's on, and then you could have a sort of, let's just call it a key, that you want to have hidden from the public, and that key could be anything like this. So we're sort of done with that. Let's go back, let's open our test script. Wonderful. So I have got a bit of code here on my right hand side just to speed things along. Let's copy this and let's just print what this gives us. All we're really trying to do is work out where we are in our sort of file path at this particular point. So Python test.py. So you can see it's told us that we're currently base directory, it thinks it's /home/monkhouse, and we're actually in temp, so it's not quite right yet. So what we want to do is, firstly we need to initialize an instance of Environ, and then we just want to read our environment variables basically, and we just need to tell it where the file is, and we know that it's in temp, and then we know it's in /.envs, and then we know there's a file in there called .local, which is basically what we're interested in. So what we're saying is, if we join the base directory, which is home /monkhouse, with /temp envs, we end up with /home /monkhouse /temp /.envs, and then we're going to look for a file called .local. So if our file had been called anything else, it would be .production, like so. Alternatively, if it was in a different folder, if this folder was instead called something like local, and then inside here we called this something like .django. So again, you just need to work out where you are, and then you need to point to the correct file. That's all we're doing. And then after that, it's really easy. So we can print debug. We can also print env. That's fine. Let's just do it double quotes. Key, was it? I think it was key. And then if we run our Python script, let's just clear this to make it neater. Python test.py, and you can see that we've got our debug, which was 1, and then our key, which was this, and we can just go ahead and use this. So that's pretty much all you do. There's probably more configuration you can do, but I wanted this to be super generic. This will work in all your Python scripts. And the other thing that we usually do then is inside here, let's say we made this, we did a sort of git init in here, then what you'd want to do is you'd want to add a, so you'd want to create a .git ignore file, and then I actually have a proper one that we can open up over here, and you know, we could copy and paste this into here. So this is my actual one for a production one that I'm currently working on, and basically we're just saying ignore anything that's in .env or .local and just don't add it to our Git repository. So what you would then have to do is, if you had a server, you'd SSH into it, and then you'd copy those files. You'd do like SCP or whatever you want to do and copy those files into your server. That way they would never be on GitHub. Alternatively, I think there's some other tools you can use, but I'm not really too familiar with them. But if this was sort of too generic, then let me know and I can do a more in-depth video on how to use environment variables. But this is the general overview of what you need to do. It's pretty simple. And then, you know, if you created a Django project, which, you know, I guess if we really wanted to, I could do a quick pip install Django, like so, and then you could do Django admin start project dot, I think we still need to call it a name, we'll call it test project. So we've created that, and then we could do code test project. Yeah, go into our settings, and basically what you would do is you would import Environ here, and then you just do the same thing as I did before. You choose a location for your files, and then instead of having something like you know, your database config, you'd use environment variables. Anything that's sensitive, your secret key, and you'd probably want to print this to check out where you are, and then from there, relative to that, you'd want to work out where to put your files. Again, debug, allowed hosts, all of this would then go into .local. You have something like this, and then whatever it is, for example, you know, like your local host or something like that. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully that was somewhat useful, and thanks for watching.